Saskatchewan Roughriders, holder of 10 records in the CFL. He reached another milestone of sorts 2 nights ago in Montreal in beating the Alouettes.
That particular pass play is just designed to hit the distance between the linebackers and defensive secondary and send some people through the deep ones to hold them and one underneath to hold the linebackers, and then just throw the ball in the hole and hope that your pass receiver goes in and gets it, which he did, and ran for 6.
You get your Eastern swing over early this year. This has to work to your advantage, Ron.
Well, yes, we've had 3 in 8 days, but still we've won our first 2, and if we can win this one, it's a great advantage to have the swing out of the way and have victories with it.
The temperature is in the high 80s. Will that affect you or your players? Indeed, the game.
It's going to get a little warm and I think a little humid, and it's just going to come down to going out and playing football.
Ron Lancaster of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And from the new CNE Stadium in Toronto, the Saskatchewan Roughriders meet the Toronto Argonauts tonight on the CFL.
CBC Sports presents the Canadian Football League in action. Professional football. Brought to you by Phillips Electronics, makers of quality electrical and electronic products for home and industry. Texaco retailers who join in saying, "You're the star at Texaco." KTEL International, specialists in personal care, household, and leisure time products. Labatt Breweries of Canada Limited, brewers of Labatt's 50 Ale and Labatt's Blue. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation and its affiliated stations.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Tom McKee, and I'll be patrolling the sidelines for you in tonight's game. A special welcome to those in Western Canada joining our Eastern broadcast for the first time this year. I'd like to introduce you now to our new commentator, color commentator this year, Don Jonas, our play-by-play man, Don Chevrier.
Thank you, Tom. And Don, tonight, as you know, injuries are a big part of football because when somebody gets hurt, somebody else gets the opportunity. That's the case, certainly, with a couple of Toronto Argonauts, and really for a Saskatchewan Roughrider guy who in the past has only been filling in when someone got hurt. That's Steve Moeller. Now he's a starter for the first time.
Steve Moeller, number 19 from Saskatchewan, has always impressed me as a football player. He's put in, he does a great job. Getting his first real shot this year as a starter in the backfield with George Reed. In the backfield with George, he's not a fancy type of football player, but he gets the job done. Number 5, Bill Bynum, is getting his first start also in the regular league play because of an injury to Mike Gray. Bynum is an average passer, but has some scrambling ability. He will be getting some information from Jackson tonight in his play selection. Number 35, Cleo House, fan favorite here in Toronto because of his spectacular running ability. His average blocker, mediocre pass receiver. Cut twice from the Argos. Both times he's been brought back because of injuries. This time to Ed Shuttlesworth.
Well, the pressure certainly is going to be on Bill Bynum because it's his first start ever as a pro, as you said. The Argonauts gave us an exciting game last week in Montreal, and Saskatchewan had a very exciting finish the other night. This game could well turn out to give us the same kind of conclusion here at the CNE tonight.
Saskatchewan's always tough, as you know. The big problem is going to be with Bynum tonight for Toronto.
All right, Don. Well, we're just about set here now as the teams line up across the respective 45-yard lines for our national anthem from a crowded CNE Stadium on a warm, muggy night in Toronto. national anthem sung by the star of CBC television, Mary Lou Collins. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
The mood is today. Today's shirt is Mach 2 by Arrow. 5 E.R. Fisher stores have them. Arrow Mach 2. It's more than a shirt. It's a state of mind. Get it on with Mach 2 from 5 E.R. Fisher stores. Spark Street Mall, Carlingwood, Billings Bridge, Saint Laurent, and Bayshore.
No matter what you may be planning to build, you'll find all the supplies you need at Zagerman & Company on the Bayview Road. They have all types of lumber, enough to build a house or to merely add a partition to a room. At Zagerman's, you'll find nails, rock wool, asphalt shingles, fiberglass, and aluminum insulation and roofing paper. From roof to floor, Zagerman has the building materials you'll need. Zagerman, at the corner of Scott Street and Bayview Road.
Zen and Andrewsian ready for the opening kickoff. The referee is Jim King with Bill Jones, Bill Dell, Jacques DeCarry, and Bob Breen. The other officials working this interlocking match between Toronto and Saskatchewan. Jimmy Elder at the goal line, one deep. It's coming into the shallow zone now and lateral back to Jim Elder at the 15-yard line. Elder reaches the 30, down around the 32-yard line. A little unusual, Don, to see only one guy back deep in a kickoff.
Especially with the kicking ability of Zen and Andrewsian, it's quite irregular to see one man back.
It's tackled by Ian Bryans, a Canadian who won a backup cornerback job with the Argonauts this year. And we look now at how the Saskatchewan Roughriders offense will come out for first down. Their quarterback for the veteran Ronnie Lancaster, Steve Bowler and Reed in the backfield. The two running backs. Watch for Tom Campana as a wide receiver.
I look for him to pass the ball this time. They've opened up with some series.
There it is for a moment, and it's picked out by Barry Finley. The Argonauts win an interception on the first play of the game. Well, they were looking for it too.
Well, it's a quick look-in pattern as he released off the line of scrimmage. He was wide open, and that's just a short check pattern. He must read the defense, which he did. Ronnie didn't get the type of pass that he would like. It was tipped in the air.
That's an even 300 interceptions now for Ron Lancaster. He leads the league in that department. Career numbers.
Toronto with Bill Bynum at quarterback coming out of the 40-yard line. First down. Leah House 35 in the backfield. The fake goes to him. Pitch out here for Al Sharuk, Canada's outstanding college player last year from Acadia, is incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Now let's check how the Argonauts will line up offensively to start this game tonight. Bynum is at quarterback, of course, as we mentioned to you before. The backs to watch: Eric Allen plays the slot. Mike Evans the flanker. House 35, Orange 25, and Bynum is the quarterback. Starting his first regular league game tonight for Toronto. The injured Mike Ray is in the wings as a backup man. This is 2nd and 10. Bynum releasing on the escape screen. Doyle Orange, who slipped. He was taken down by Richardson around the 37-yard line. They got only a couple of yards out of those two downs. They'll now be kicking, and Andrewsian's coming in.
You might want to mention a point here, Shep. Early in the game, the reason they are slipping is because of the heat here in Toronto. They did water down the field just prior to the game.
That was to cool it off as best they could, but today temperatures reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 Celsius. Jimmy Elder is going back as the lone return man in the end zone for this field goal attempt from the 45 by Zen and Andrewsian. High snap. Here's the kick. He's got it. Toronto leads 3-0. Very similar pattern to the first game we telecast out of here last week. That is an early interception, then a 54-yard field goal by Andrewsian to get the Argos ahead of Ottawa. He's now kicked a field goal in 24 consecutive games. Number 19, Andrewsian. This one puts Toronto out in front 3-0. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders, with a new rule, have the option of receiving a kickoff following the field goal, and they're going to take just that. And again, send Elder back as the deep man stationed in a very lonely position near the goal line. There he is, Jim Elder.
The way things look right now, it looks like the game plan of Toronto is to use a lot of play action on that first down.
I think we could look for them to throw a good deal on first down, Don. You're right. All right, Andrusic's second kickoff. This one's coming deep down to Elder at the 6-yard line. 50, 25, 35, still to the 38-yard line. Ferris Scott took him down. He's back to play defensive end tonight because Buteau, who'd played that spot before, is going on offense against a very tough man, O'Neill, at defensive end for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Elder brought that back 32 yards to defense of the Argonauts. At front four, Liggins, Huntsberger, Scott, and Corrigal. George Reed. Reed to the 44, collects 6. Randy Liggins stopped him. Reed playing with a sore shoulder. That, as Coach John Payne said, he's going to go. Everybody knows that George Reed doesn't miss many football games.
I'd like to look back at his years of playing here in Canadian football and the amount of games he has played with injuries.
Well, he's now carried the ball in this his 114th consecutive game. That tells you something about the endurance, the stamina of George Reed. There he is again, going for the first down and finding it easily, reaching the 51-yard line for the big first down. They wanted more speed, ideally, in the Saskatchewan backfield. They've had backs like Silas McKinney in the past and Bobby Thompson. Molner's there now to complement Reed.
And what he lacks in speed is definitely makes up in a lot of his other abilities. He's a good pass receiver, a good blocker, and he fits into the backfield very well with George Reed.
Well, you begin to wonder if Reed needs any help at all. They could get away with one running back the way he performs. This time it's to Campana. Watch him to maybe throw. Going deep. The Argonauts are ready for it. Knocked away by Barry Finley. Rhett Dawson, who won the game in Montreal the other night on that connection from Lancaster, was the intended target.
That's not a bad play, really, even though it is incomplete. At least it lets the team know, not only the team you're playing, other teams that you're going to play, that you do have that play. And, of course, it will open the sweep later for Campana.
I tell you, Don, the way they started, we could be in for a wide-open, entertaining football game tonight. This is 2nd and 10. 50-yard line of Toronto. Lancaster straight back again with time, going deep to the far side, right back to Dawson, makes the catch at the 10, and they get him out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Barry Finley saved the touchdown. They came right back to Dawson again, and this time it worked.
Well, he's their bread and butter play, and he runs a post flag or post corner move on the cornerback and beats him individually. And Ronnie just laid it out very nicely. He went up for a very good catch, almost went the distance.
They put the ball down actually on the 2-yard line. They are 1st and goal to go from there, trailing 3-0. In the opening 4 minutes of this game, we've seen a tremendous amount of offensive play.
Well, you can pretty well guess who's going to get the ball in this short yardage situation. Would you gander to take a guess, Chevy?
I think we'll let everybody figure that out. With this full house backfield, that is your answer, and he is not over. George Reed was stopped short of the goal line. Corrigal came up to fill that hole in. Last man you see getting up, big number 79 for Toronto, as Reed makes an advance to the 1-yard line where the Saskatchewan Roughriders are 2nd down.
Every time Reed runs for a touchdown, you know, he rewrites 5 CFL records. Every time Lancaster throws a TD pass, he revises 10 CFL records.
They got a habit of running and throwing just that way. Barry Bullish does not find the end zone either. Bullish was rolled back by the right side of that Argo defensive line. It was Ferris Scott, a defensive end, who stopped him. Russ Jackson on the hit set upstairs there.
Now the big question here, Ronnie has hit that line twice and has found it very tough. The question now is, will he come back with some type of a fake and a short pass? Loves to go to Ford in this particular area. If he doesn't hand off to a running back, we'll look for Ford to catch a touchdown pass.
All right, here it is. 3rd down, goal to go, the 1-yard line. Goes to Reed. Markers go down. He crossed the goal line, but let's see what the penalty infraction is. It could be against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It is against Saskatchewan. Referee Jim King is about to signal a legal procedure against the Riders. Offside. Third down. They take them back to the 6-yard line.
The catch on a replay here of the movement. There's Reed going in for his touchdown. Looked like the right side jumped just prior to the snap of the ball.
So now from the 6, they will settle for a field goal attempt. It'll be Jack Abenshan who's back in to attempt it. O'Brien Berg, I'm sorry, number 58. Lancaster holding. Big charge, but he's got it. Ties the game up. Matching the field goal earlier of Zenon Andrusishin. Not in distance and certainly in accuracy. So these teams are even at 3 apiece here in the early minutes of an exciting CFL game here in the first quarter. They played 5.5 minutes with the score. Toronto 3, Saskatchewan 3.
I figured you might save me the trouble. Oh, I'll kick you. Ready to roll.
Yes, when Bruno Gerussi and the other beachcombers are around, it means action.
Hold it right there.
So be sure to join us for all the excitement.
From the end zone, you see Brian Berg getting set for the Saskatchewan kickoff. The Argonauts have stationed 2 deep men near the 5. L.J. Clayton, number 28, and Eric Allen, number 23, a pair of speedsters. He pumps it up short, though. It's coming down to Cleo House around the 28. Cleo House hits the middle and gets caught around the 44-yard line. He leans into the 44 by Bob Clark, number 76. Tom?
Even.
Didn't get you that time, Thomas. We'll try again. Bill Bynum, quarterbacking the Toronto Argonauts in this game. Looks out to the left side, fires one for Mike Even. He had to reach behind him and take a lunge of the ball and got a couple of yards out of it. Jim Marshall at the right defensive corner made the tackle for Saskatchewan. Even playing with a sponge cast. He burned his arm on this artificial turf here last week. Leo House, the fullback, lined up behind Bynum. Rest of the spread offense for second down. This is complete. Going out to Eric Allen for a first down to the 52-yard line. Flea made no mistake about that ball.
Well, this is something where Eric Allen is definitely a good receiver. He goes from that wingback position and he hooks and he just plays the linebackers and he finds that open area. Made an excellent catch.
I tell you, Bynum's not putting it right on the money. These receivers are having to reach for that ball. There's Charlie Collins, veteran defender, middle linebacker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Bynum now goes to Cleo House, spinning off people, getting down to the 38-yard line. Another Toronto first down.
This is something, Chevy, a lot of teams won't expect Toronto Football Club to do, and that is run at a football club like Saskatchewan. But if you remember the last game against a tough defense of Ottawa, they ran right at them, and this is what they're doing here.
Well, we saw Doyle Orange collect almost 100 yards last week, and tonight I suspect we're going to see a lot more of Cleo House than Doyle Orange. He got inside, as you saw on that play. House now playing finally after 2 years, his first regular season game, and he's away again to the 36. He gets about 3. Little mix-up back there with Dushinsky and Eric Allen downfield, away from the area of the play had been stopped, but they're quickly broken up. And that is going to be about an advance of 3 yards to make it 2nd and 7.
Good crowd on hand. They said they sold about 38,000 tickets for tonight's game. A few holes in the north stands, but maybe they haven't, you know, maybe the paint's not dry in those seats yet. Come to think of it, they haven't painted those seats for so long. Maybe that's why they're not showing up.
Bill Bynum. Plenty of time. Now he steps up into the pocket of the 35. And then is surrounded around the 32. He'll miss the first down by a good 3 yards. Charlie Collins and Roger Gorey cut him off in full flight. So the Argonauts will have another 3rd down situation to look at. They are tied in this game with the Saskatchewan Roughriders at 3-all with about 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Here at Johnny's Texaco, it gives us a lot of satisfaction to know we babied a car through 100,000 miles. Now, while we can't promise you the same, we can promise with regular oil changes, lube jobs, and Texaco's top quality products, you'll get more miles out of your car. The way we see it, if we treat your car right and we treat you right, you'll keep on coming back, right?
You're the star, yes you are. You're the star at Texaco. Woo!
Well, this Saturday on the Sports Special, pre-Olympic competition featuring gymnastics, judo, field hockey, and sailing. Track and field from Park Kent and Montreal later on tomorrow. That's on the Saturday Sports Special right here on CBC television. This is 3rd down and 3. Another field goal attempt for Zenon Andrusician, who's 1 for 1. This attempt will come from the 39-yard line. Richardson made a lunge at it. He's got it away, and he's right on it again. Andrusician gives Toronto a 2 field goal to 1 lead and a score of 6-3. Pretty valuable guy to have around when a drive bogs down.
There's no question about the value of Zenon Andrusician, both in field goal range and also in his punting ability.
He had a chance to win the game last week against Ottawa on the final play, and Ron Woodward came around and blocked it. He was missed on a blocking assignment and walked right in on it.
Getting even back to that goal line stance that Toronto had, you know, Saskatchewan has the ball on the 2-yard line for 3 plays and can't get it in. That's a tremendous morale booster for that Toronto defense.
You saw Elder again, the lone deep receiver, stationed back at the 5-yard line for Saskatchewan, awaiting this kickoff from Andrusician. And it's a dandy, going to drive him back around the 3. Elder, 15, 25, 35, and spilled short of the 35-yard line by Ian Bryan's number 70. They'll give him the 33, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders will again start in approximately the same spot which they've originated most of their offensive drives tonight. This one they put it down now on the 34-yard line as the Argonaut defense comes onto the field. Tom Campana, number 24 for Saskatchewan. He comes to the right side now. That dangerous wide receiver, Rhett Dawson, 25, is set wide left. Pedersen, 71, is on the right. The setbacks are Molnar and Reed. This is George Reed. Garrett Huntsberger found him early at the 35. Limits Reed to a gain of a single yard.
Here's Reed here on isolation. Watch Huntsberger coming in on pursuit angle from the backside, getting a good piece of George Reed.
So it'll be 2nd and 9, 35-yard line. Garrett Huntsberger acquired on waivers from the British Columbia Lions. Lancaster for Pedersen. Did not find him in the area of the 50-yard line, and he got dumped back there from Granny Liggins. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 Roughriders now. Terry Bullich is the punter for Saskatchewan. Alan Ford able to play, but unable to punt very well right now. So Bullich has taken over that spot. Clayton and Utek are back. He almost got that one blocked on him. Out here to the sidelines, bounces off L.J. Clayton. He picks it up and then is nowhere to go, surrounded by white and green sweaters. Toronto Argonauts have some other quarterbacks in camp, Tom.
Looking on from the sidelines here at the Argo bench, there's Charles Napper. He's in on a 5-day trial. He's the quarterback. He was with the taxi squad of the Green Bay Packers for quite some time. He never played in a regular season game, but if he can play as well as he dresses, man, he'd be a terror.
Toronto first down. Bill Bynum. He'll go all the way tonight. Barring injury. Pitches to Cleo House, and they have him wrapped up early for a yard gain around the 35-yard line. Saskatchewan's Mike Dirks, the defensive tackle there. And that's an awesome front four for Saskatchewan with George Wells, the defensive end, big Jesse O'Neill at the other end, Dirks and Tim Roth, who was a defensive end, playing as the defensive tackles. As fine a front four as you're liable to encounter, Don.
They're tough. In fact, a rumor around the Saskatchewan area is that they don't even have a defensive playbook. They just hand them wooden mallets as they walk out the door.
You saw a lot of those guys close up in years gone by, didn't you? Marker's been thrown. Bynum. Good catch by Eric Allen. 46-yard line. That could be an infraction against the Toronto Argonauts for holding as Bynum is trying to get the ball away. And the penalty will likely erase that fine play by Eric Allen.
Eric Allen went up for this ball very well. He found that open area on the rollout or scramble type of pass that Bynum threw.
I see referee Jim King indicate the holding penalty against Toronto. Somebody trying to buy his quarterback a little more time to get the ball away.
Watching that particular play with Dushinsky playing the safety spot and him rolling out in that direction, which would put Eric Allen now on Dushinsky, which is going to be a tough matchup.
There's Cleo House off to an impressive running start tonight for Toronto, as I mentioned, playing in his first regular league game in 2 years after trying to make this team. Bynum goes back against the flow, spots Al Sharuk. He's got it. 50-yard line. Toronto first down. Bill Manchuk put the heavy tag on Al Sharuk. He's playing tonight in place of the injured Chuck Hurd.
Now the question is whether Bynum saw something on the last play. He sprinted and he came back and found the open area.
A 26-yarder, and he certainly was open. Now Bynum has gone out for consultation with his head coach, Russ Jackson, who will be calling a lot of plays for him, as many as he can from the bench. About 2 minutes and 45 left in quarter one.
Your Olympic Network.
Well, Bill Bynum is off to an impressive start as a rookie pro starter. 4 for 5 so far tonight for the Toronto Argonauts, and he's got his team into first down territory now across their own 50-yard line. The clock is ticked away 10 seconds too many. They're going to hold it now and make a correction on this play. Shows 2:46 left now. Here's Bynum getting rushed. Oh, and his arm was hit as he threw. Coming in there for Saskatchewan was Jesse O'Neill, that big defensive end from the left side, to get a good chunk of Bynum. Tell me, Jesse likes to have some chicken now and then, Don.
He sure does. Here's an ISO on middle linebacker Collins. Almost gets it as it was deflected. You see his drop here back into the area. But the big problem on that was Bynum didn't get the depth that he needs on that particular pattern and was throwing in too much traffic.
Granny Liggins sells real estate in the offseason. I hope that wasn't about one of his houses.
I don't think so. No.
Here's Bynum now to the escape man. Oh, he's hammered. Doyle Orange was rocked by Bill Manchuk. No chance to catch that ball. Now, there was a story about Jesse O'Neill and how well he likes chicken, Don.
That's what I hear. Payne was telling us that when he recruited Jesse came into Saskatchewan and they had just eaten dinner about an hour and a half prior to this particular episode. And what happens, he says he was driving Jesse back and he said, would you like a little snack before you go back? He says, yeah. So they stop in the chicken place, eats a bucket there and takes a bucket home.
In case you get hungry later.
Hey, Jonas.
Manchuk down there, who is being attended to by Sandy Archer, the veteran Saskatchewan trainer. Might be able to see how he was injured on that last contact. Here it is.
Well, he looks like he might have gotten his legs tied up or he just pinched his shoulder nerve possibly on that hit.
I would have thought the Argo receiver might have had the worst of that confrontation, but such was not the case. Tremendous punt away here by Andrew Zishin. Coming down to the goal area for Tom Campana. That blocking forms up. He's on the short side and runs out of field. Out at his own bench near the 15-yard line. Campana. A 58-yard punt by Andrew Zishin. Oh, he can boon them.